I'm back on the road, closing in on Cowboy builders whose dodgy work is a real eyesore to look at, and they bring endless grief to the lives and homes of unsuspecting victims.
I feel really, really badly let down. We can't afford this kind of thing to happen.
I'm on a mission to help these unfortunate homeowners and see what I can do to get them back on track.
I think he was taking advantage of me, thinking, oh, well, you're all really daft.
Now, along the way, I'll be giving you loads of hints and tips in the hope that it will help prevent you from falling into the cowboy trap. Today, we're travelling across Britain to meet two sets of homeowners, both of whom fell into the cowboy trap when they hired builders who didn't have the right skills for the job. All Barbara McQuirk wanted was a shiny new shower room. She certainly didn't expect her money to be flushed away on a bodged job bathroom.
I thought, that's horrible. It's not even square. I felt gutted. I felt I'd been had.
And I meet Doris and Gordon Reed, who felt their world begin to crumble when their garden wall started falling apart.
But for 2 years past, that is not good enough.
My quest starts in the northwest of England. Ooh, I do like to be beside the seaside. The Cowboy Trail finds me in Morecambe, Lancashire, a place famous for many things, including its ferry port and the 11th century stone graves that overlook Morecambe Bay. Maybe that was a place where they buried their cowboy builder of the day. Morecambe is also home to pensioner Barbara McQuirk. Barbara grew up in nearby Barrow-in-Furness, and after living in various towns around the country, was drawn back to her old stomping ground.
The bay is opposite side to where I used to live, and you've got all the lovely small places all around the bay. It's beautiful. I used to come from Barrow to Morecambe to dance on a Saturday.
That's not the only entertaining that went on in Morecambe. One of the town's most famous sons borrowed the name and put this seaside town on the showbiz map. Now, Eric Morecambe here and his partner Ernie Wise brought a lot of sunshine, laughter and love into people's lives, unlike Barbara's plumber, who just brought sadness. Barbara moved to her new home 2 years ago. She has a tough old time and suffers with arthritis, asthma and diabetes, so she wanted some renovations done to make life a bit easier. Her dream was to have a beautiful tiled bathroom with a shower.
I had a vision of a bathroom where it could go in and it'd be warm. I wanted it to be easy for me to use. I thought if I had it all tiled, it'd be easy to keep clean.
Because Barbara was fairly new to the town, when she decided to go ahead with her bathroom build, she needed help in finding a contractor. She'd made some friends in the local neighbourhood, so asked around for some suggestions. On hearing that one of the tradesmen was a local fella and just about to start his own company, Barbara thought she'd give him a chance, so she asked him if he would give her a dream bathroom.
He said he's just starting out. I thought, well, it's good for people starting out, give them a hand.
Giving new starts a chance can be risky. Take my advice. Expertise comes with practice, so it's better to hire an experienced contractor. Check your builder's credentials and make sure they're qualified to take on the work. They shouldn't be learning on your job. Barbara wanted a totally redesigned bathroom with a new shower, incorporating a seat, basin, toilet and tiling throughout. The plumber was reluctant at first to come up with a cost, but he eventually quoted around £2,500. Barbara took out a bank loan for $2,500 to pay for the work. It was due to take 2 weeks and started in June 2010.
He didn't ask me what I wanted. He said, when I finish, Barbara, you'll have a lovely bathroom and you'll be pleased. I said, well, as long as it works and it's nice, I'll be happy.
As the bathroom work progressed, the plumber decided to subcontract a tiler and an electrician. When the tiler arrived to start work, Barbara was in for a shock. he didn't have the right equipment for the job. Not even tile spacers. Alarm bells should have been ringing.
I thought, why come to do a job when you haven't got any bases? If you're tiler, you know what you want.
Barbara didn't listen to her instincts. She kept paying the builders and allowed them to continue work for 3 weeks. So what did she think of the end result?
It looked all right at first. It's only when you sit down and notice things, that bit of wood there sticking out. That's not even for close fit. I thought, my God, that's horrible.
Barbara was left with a shoddy shower, terrible tiling and problematic pipes. She might as well have flushed her $2,500 down the dodgy fitting drain.
I was still paying the loan off with an awful bathroom. That upsets me.
Maybe I can help out. I think it's time to meet Barbara and see if I can put this botched bathroom back on track.
Hello?
Hello, now you must be Barbara.
Yes, I am.
I'm Clive from Cowboy Trap. How are you? Now, you've had problems with 1 or 2 trades that have come in to sort your bathroom out.
Yes.
Do you mind if I come in and take a look?
No.
Great. You had to think about that then, didn't you? Come on then. Now, whereabouts... Oh, I can see.
This is the bathroom.
This is the bathroom. OK. All right, well, you go and sit down. I'm just going to have a quick nosy round. Well, first of all, straight away with the tiles, it's rare to have grout gap like this of around about, I think that's about 8 mil. It's way too wide. This is normally what you'd use for a floor. And you can see where they've just wodged in there. I mean, they've just filled it. I mean, it just looks horrible. I mean, they've just filled it in with grout anywhere they can. And the trim around the window reveal here, they've tried their best to do a mitre joint, top and bottom around the trim. But then as they've got to the bottom, they thought, oh, it won't bother, just whack it on. It does look bad. And look at the state of that. I mean, that tile there, for instance, that's not been cut with a proper tile cutter. Now, in terms of the plumbing, the way the waste pipe goes away from the sink, it certainly doesn't look like it's got a decent fall line. That must be getting clogged up pretty bad. But I think one of the important things for me, looking at the towel rail and looking at the pipe work, if any electrical work has gone on in here, there is no visible earth bonding at all. Now, that would worry me, so I need to get an electrician in to come and take a look at that. Without earth bonding, the metal pipes in this bathroom put Barbara at risk. So, potential again for electrocution, high. It looks like an odd jobber to me, this. Certainly not professionals that have done this job. But I think there's more going on beneath the surface. You know, the work in that bathroom really stinks. I think it's time for me to find out exactly what Barbara had in mind. How did you get the quotes and what did you want doing?
I wanted a nice bathroom putting in with a shower and a seat in the shower. So I went to see this friend of mine and he gave me 3 names. And so I rang the 3 up and they all came out to see it and they said to get in touch with me. And there was only one that got in touch with me.
What did you ask him to do?
I told him I wanted bath taking out and a shower putting in instead.
Just tell me the reason you chose this particular plumber again.
He'd also moved a radiator in the conservatory for me and lowered it. And he did a lovely job. He was polite and everything. And I thought, well, what harm can he be?
Trusting this plumber was Barbara's first mistake. Her next was over money. Did you take out the £2,500 loan?
Yes.
In advance of getting quotes?
Yes.
Therefore, how did you know how much it was going to cost?
I thought if it costs less than that, I can spend it on something else.
But did you tell your plumber how much money you got?
Yes.
Right, OK, now this is ever so important. If you tell them how much you've got, you're already falling into the cowboy trap. Yeah. It's always best to just keep stum, let them do a quote, and then sort out your loan after that. Surprise, surprise. The plumber quoted the full amount of £2,500. He wasted no time starting the job. What happened when he said you need the tiling work doing? did he say he was going to bring in a qualified tiler to do the work?
He didn't say qualified. He said, I know someone who can do it. And it turns out, I think he was his friend.
Didn't you at any stage look at them and go, that looks awful?
But it's only afterwards I saw how big the gaps were and where the gaps were and the outlets were, how bad it was.
Did you ever try and contact the plumber to say, I need you to put these right?
Yeah, he didn't get back to you, so you knew you were on a hiding to nothing.
At that stage, that dream bathroom that you'd always had in your mind...
It was in the ether. I just wanted that shower. I really wanted a shower. I needed a shower.
Now, what I'd like to do is bring that dream back to reality. I'd like you to tell me what you would like.
Tiles that fit.
Yeah.
When you move the lid off the toilet, it'd be grouted under there. And where this outlet goes, so the toilet and the sink, it'd be fitted round it. And things like that.
Would that make you happy?
It'd be well way on the way to it. But I haven't got somebody to wash me back yet.
Well, have you not? Well,
No.
I'll see if I can get somebody organised for that.
Yeah. 58 about.
OK.
I don't want somebody old.
OK. I can't wait to show you the finished
That'd
work.
be wonderful.
All right, is that agreed?
Mm.
Brilliant.
That'd be superb.
Later, I'll be calling in an independent chartered surveyor to give his judgment on this bathroom botch.
It's quite poorly done.
Now I'm heading north of the border to the beautiful Aberdeenshire countryside, where a garden wall isn't all it's cracked up to be. I'm in the picturesque town of Lawrence Kirk, just south of Aberdeen in Scotland. It's a place of only 2,000 locals, so everyone knows your name, and it also has great civic pride. This was the perfect patch to set up a dream home for finance administrator Doris Reid and her husband, warehouse worker Gordon. For over 30 years, Doris and Gordon Reid had lived and worked in Aberdeen city centre. But in planning for their retirement, they bought a plot of land with stunning views of the Aberdeenshire countryside.
But always hankered after living in the country. So this was a good balance of country life to city life.
In 2007, the developer finished the couple's home. They moved in and were delighted. All the Reeds needed to complete their dream was a beautiful garden with a wall at the back to tie in with the house.
We decided to have it landscaped, and we didn't really want to put a wooden fence up because it takes a lot of maintenance. It's not weatherproof or whatever.
Plus it would hide the view. Well, what's the point in being in the country, having a view that we have and hiding it?
Doris and Gordon spoke to a friend who'd recently had their garden done. They recommended a local landscaper, so the couple called him round for a quote.
I said, I want a wall. Not a problem, he said. My brother's a builder, he works for me. He says, so we can do the wall as well.
Doris and Gordon's outside objective was for a gorgeous garden, complete with turfed lawn, patio, fencing to the side and a wall along the back. The landscaper quoted £3,200 for a 10-day turnaround to create their dream garden, including the rear wall. Neither Doris or Gordon could afford to take any time off work to supervise the builder, but they trusted him. They knew it was going to cost thousands, and he told them it would take just 10 days to build. It eventually took 10 weeks. Warning bells should have been ringing when their neighbours alerted them to the reason for the hold-up.
Neighbours had said about it. I was quite angry about it, but because I wasn't actually here, seeing what time he arrived and left, I didn't feel I could go and say, well, hang on a minute, I know you haven't been here till 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Obviously, it wasn't whole days.
Doris and Gordon put the delays down to bad weather, but their neighbours and their own instincts were telling them otherwise. Take my advice. If you stop the work immediately. Tell your builder your concerns, and if necessary, put them in writing. Don't hand over any cash until the problems are resolved. 10 weeks into what was supposed to be a 10-day job, the work was finished. The Reeds were pleased to have the job done, so settled up in full.
At this time, very pleased with it. It looked well, it blended in with the house.
But just 18 months later, and after the worst of the Aberdeenshire winter weather, Gordon realised he had a problem.
I noticed some of the pebble dashing had come off the wall. But then I noticed that there were hairline cracks going down the height of the wall, and I looked over the other side, which is on the lane side, and the cracking was very much more significant there.
Gordon and Doris tried repeatedly to contact their builder, by phone and by letter, but he never replied, and he left the wall to crumble. And just like their dreams, it's falling apart.
I think I cried for days. I was just so devastated once it started deteriorating, and deteriorating fast.
Less than 2 years after handing over more than $3,000 for their ideal garden, the Reeds are left with whopping wall woes. The rough cast is coming off, the decorative coping stones on top of the wall are loose, and colossal cracks are appearing. Doris and Gordon are distraught.
I feel really, really badly let down, because not only is the wall starting to look like an eyesore, but it's costing us again. We can't afford this kind of thing to happen. It's a big thing to get a wall done.
It's time for me to meet the Reeds and find out what we can do to help. Morning.
Morning.
You must be Doris.
I am.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank
And
you.
you must be young Gordon.
I am, sir.
How are you, Gordon? You all right?
Yeah.
You've had problems with a garden wall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I go and have a quick look at it?
No, you have a look.
I'll come and have a chat with you later.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I want to go and see it for myself first.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
See you in a little while.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Beautiful views for a start. Rough cast wall on the face of it. Looks okay. Let's take a closer look. OK, so we're only 1 brick thick. Copers. Now, this rough cast, first of all, not thick enough. It should be about 3/4 inches thick. Certainly, I'm not happy about the thickness of that. Once the rain gets in behind that rough cast, then the water freezes in the winter and it blows it out like it's done there. Looks like somebody's had a little dig down. Foundations are important when it comes to a wall like this, and it doesn't look very deep at all. The thing is, when you're building a wall like this, in terms of the foundations, you need to be about 50% wider than the actual width of the wall itself. And you need to go around about 1 foot deep as well. The coper, again, as you look at that, it's not seated correctly. You see, you've got these grooves in here just under the coper itself, but in the middle of that should be a nice mortar bed to sit that coper on. This is virtually flush with the rough cast. A couple of years and this is going to look really bad. You know, looking now through your TV screen, you might think, that looks quite a nice wall. Up close and personal, it's a bit like me, doesn't look good at all. It's clear to me that this is a poor job, so I want Doris and Gordon to shed more light on their wall of worry. Foundations-wise, what foundations have you got?
Basically, he's put 1 block on its side, I think, and just built on top of the block.
I don't think he's even done that, because if you, at the other side of the wall, you can actually put your foot under the hole at the other side. You can actually put your foot under it.
What sort of traffic do you get down this
We
sort of lane?
get approximately 12, maybe 14 water tankers a day going up and down, because there are a water sewage works at the bottom of the road.
You're going to get road movement there, so you're going to get ground movement.
That's
so
right.
therefore, again, over a period of time, all of this is going to break off and fall off, whether it's the winter, the vibration, or the fact that it's not seated properly.
If this had been after 20 years, I would have said, well, OK, fair enough.
Yes, yes.
We've had use out of it.
Yeah.
But for 2 years past,
No.
that is not good enough.
The hard, cold facts are, do you know this wall's got to come down?
Yes. Yes.
There's no way this wall can stay up.
Well, for as much as we're devastated for the state of the wall, I think really what's more important is the safety aspect, because kids come down here in their bikes. I would hate to think that anybody would get hurt. You know, that would be worse than ever.
I dread to think of these heavy coping stones or parts of this wall falling on children and passers-by. So we need to get it down fast. But I want to find out more about the landscaper who landed them with this bodge job.
Doris did say to him, look, we can get a builder in to do the wall side of it, because you're a landscape gardener.
Yep, it's a good shout from Doris.
Yeah. And he said, no, he says, that's okay. He says, my brother works for me, and he's a bricklayer to the trade.
You know, whoever your main contractor brings in as a subcontractor, he should be aware of the qualities of their work, because he is responsible. If your builder is subcontracting part of the job, listen up. The contractor is responsible and accountable for any work done by subcontractors. But it's still advisable to research anyone doing work on your property. Sadly, Doris and Gordon trusted their landscaper. But when did they first realise things were going wrong?
There wasn't really any alarm bells ringing, apart from the length of time it was taken to complete the work.
Yeah.
We originally got quoted 10 working days. But when it ran into 10 weeks, come the 7th or 8th week, he would stay for about an hour and then away somewhere else.
But to take 10 weeks from 10 days, which was the original quote, is crazy. After 10 weeks, the build was finally finished and the couple liked what they saw. But just a year and a half later, the wall and their peace of mind started to crack.
In between the coping stones, one or two, there was no cement.
No,
Where's the cement gone?
When you did realise it was that bad though, Doris, how did it make you feel?
I was frustrated, angry, tearful, I was in a state.
So I called his mobile and his home number over a period of maybe 6 weeks, about 30 times. Never got any answer.
What would be your dream for that area now? What would you like us to do? I
just want it to be 100% perfect.
Are we agreeing that it's a rip it up and start again job?
Yeah. Absolutely.
OK, that's what I'm going to do. Will that make you happy to have a nice new solid structure put up and the job done well?
I really appreciate it.
Coming up, I call in an independent building inspector to give us the lowdown on whether this wonky wall should come down.
The amount of things that's wrong with it, I wouldn't think it's been done by somebody who's a qualified builder and mason.
In Morecambe, Barbara McQuirk had stumbled into the Cowboy Trap when she called in a plumber to transform her ageing bathroom into a beautiful shiny shower room. But her dreams were flushed away when, after paying £2,500 to her callous cowboy, she was left with terrible tiles, pathetic pipework and potentially lethal electrics. You know, I really hate it when I hear about tradesmen taking advantage of elderly people. So I've asked independent chartered surveyor Roger Carradise to come and cast an eye over the work that's been carried out. Roger, how are you?
Hi.
So what have you found, Roger, that's not to your liking?
With the tiling, we've got grouting smeared in various places. It's not been cleaned off properly. We've got these wide 8mm joints, which are unusual for this type of fitting. And some of the edges of the tiles have been damaged. The beading, which is around the window reveal, fits poorly. And I also noticed there's no electrical bonding on any of the pipework, which I would have expected.
So there's lots going on in here that's a problem. Yeah. Now, you also noted as well that there's a problem outside. So we'll go out and take a look at that.
Yeah, sure.
Roger spotted that the bathroom wastewater pipes don't discharge into the outside drain. Yeah, I can see what you mean. That is a real problem, isn't it?
It is. I mean, the white pipe just charges into nowhere. And it's going to splash on this guard and just flood the path here. No thought's been given to the arrangement of this. It's very poor.
What sort of mark out of 10 would you give these guys for the work they've carried out?
Well, basically it's pretty poor. I'd say somewhere around about 3. But the finishing really falls well short of what you'd expect.
So 3 out of 10, Roger?
Yeah.
Is what it will be. Roger. I'll agree with you.
Thank you.
Roger's report is a crucial piece of information. It's time for action. Now, on the face of it, this is a working bathroom. Toilet, sink, shower, no problem at all. However, now we've found the electrical problems, I'm going to need to cordon this area off. I'm going to class it as a no-go zone. And I believe it's now time to bring on the good guys. Here he is. How are you, Robert?
Hello, pleased to meet you.
I'm
yes.
Clive. What have you seen that's not to your liking?
Well, it's quite general, really. There's nothing that I can see that I would deem to be acceptable. The ceiling isn't good. The tiles are not brilliant. So there's lots of items here that you could discuss at length.
What is your major plan? What are you going to do?
We've got to get rid of everything in here. The next thing will be to take the ceiling down. We need to see how those lights have been fixed. And then we'll take up the flooring. We'll take the tiles off the walls. Depending on what we find below these tiles, if the wall is suitable to retile, then we'll use it.
OK, well, listen, it's great to have you on board. I can't wait to show Barbara what the good guys are capable of. Right. And I'm sure she'll have a cracking bathroom by the time you finish.
Thank you very much.
I'll let you carry on, Squire. We're travelling back up to Aberdeenshire, where Doris and Gordon Reed were left with a wall full of woe when they fell into the Cowboy Trap. They paid their landscaper more than $3,000 for a turfed lawn, patio, fence and perimeter wall. But less than 2 years on, their wall is crumbling, cracked and is a threat to passers-by and local children who use the access road every day. I've looked at this job and it's pretty poor to say the least. But you don't have to take my word for it. I've asked independent chartered surveyor Graham Bowie to come along and view it for himself. Let's find out what he thinks. How are you? I'm Clive.
I'm Graham Bowie. How are you?
I'm very well, sir. You've had a chance to have a look at it, but what is your opinion?
The quality of the whole wall is really substandard. The most important thing when you're building anything in building is you get a good foundation. That won't hold up the wall for any substantial period. But one of the important things that's missing from this wall is got no piers to brace it.
Yeah.
It's about 25 metres long without any brace for stability.
Piers are pillar-like structures that support walls. So if you're building a wall, take my advice. Place piers at least every 6 metres. The number needed will depend on the wall's height and length. Now, in terms of the work that you've seen here, do you believe it's been carried out by somebody who knows what they're doing?
With the amount of things that's wrong with it, I wouldn't think it's been done by somebody who's a qualified builder and mason.
If you could give this guy a mark out of 10, what would you give him?
Probably a 2.
A 2? I tell you what, that's about all it deserves. Now, in my opinion, this wall is completely unsafe, so I'm taping the area off, classing it as a no-go zone. The only people allowed past it are myself and the good guys. And talking of which, it's time to bring them on. I've called in local builder James Fairley and his team, who are tooled up and ready to leap into action. Obviously, you've looked at the wall, but tell us what your plan is.
I don't think there's any hope of saving any of this wall. It's all got to come down. We've got to probably use a digger to remove the existing concrete. I won't call them foundations.
Yeah, they're not foundations.
We'll build a single-leaf wall with piers, which are thickenings every 4 metres.
Great that you're here with us and getting on with the job, and I'm sure it's going to have a cracking finish to it. Well played, Squire. I'll leave you to it. Cheers, James. James and his team have a big job on their hands, knocking down and starting all over again. Doris and Gordon are chipping in to meet the cost. They want to make sure that this wall is built to last. Later, how will Doris and Gordon's new wall stand up to inspection?
So happy now. Just brilliant. Thank you so much. Back
in Morecambe, Barbara McQuirk had been led into a costly cowboy trap. Barbara's simple dream was to have a new shower room with easy access facilities. It should have made living with arthritis less troublesome. But after paying £2,500 to a dodgy contractor, she was left with nothing more than a bodge job bathroom. We brought in the good guys to help her out. Since arriving, they've ripped out the rotten tiles and sorted the shower, installing a shiny new one for Barbara. They've even put right the pipework for the outside drain, and they're still hard at it. But the job's not all been plain sailing. Robert and the boys found some potentially shocking surprises.
When the suspended ceiling was taken down, we found an original pulse width shower which was still live. The electric cable had been cut off in the loft area, but hadn't been terminated with either a connection or tape, so that the exposed end of the cable was still live, and if anybody were to touch it in that area, they would have got a shock.
Barbara's reckless cowboys had put her life at risk. It's time to take those bodging builders to task.
Barbara, when was the last time you had any conversation with your builder?
Must have been about 4 weeks afterwards.
And that was the last time you ever had any contact with him? Can you remember how that conversation went?
He was sad because his girlfriend had left him and he might have to sell his house.
I tell you what, these sub-stories they give you on the phone, you have to supply the violin, don't you?
I do.
And accompany him. That's usually the case. But if you had the opportunity to speak to him and you've got a couple of questions uppermost in your mind, what would they be?
Don't tell me a yarn, because I'm not in for it. And I've learned a lot since then.
We have to give him a chance to reply. It's his chance of a right of reply. We make a phone call. If you just sit tight, and then I'm going to make the phone call now. It's gone to answer phone. Hello, this is Clive Holland from BBC One's Cowboy Trap. I'm with Barbara McQuirk in Morecambe. What I want to do is just put a few questions to you. A couple that Barbara had got, first of all, was, why did you constantly sell her a yarn, as she puts it? But what I'm more bothered about is that you were the main contractor, and you then decided, because you weren't a tiler, you then brought in somebody who was a tiler. Now, with you being the main contractor, you have to make sure that the subcontractors you bring in are people who are qualified to do the job. Then you also advised an electrician that could come in to do the work. Now, this is where it's really scary, because we've got a problem with a shower cable that was just cut off that was actually live. They're the things that we're really concerned about. Thanks very much. Bye. Straight to answer phone. What's your feeling about that, the fact that he's actually gone to ground now?
Part of the course. Those sort of people, it'll start somewhere else.
We did eventually track down Barbara's plumber. He claims his pipework was good and also thought the tiles were fine. As for the electrics, which put Barbara's life at risk, he couldn't comment. At least Robert and his team have now made everything safe. They've finished working their magic, and I can't wait to...
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Straight away, it's really clean, nice clean lines. The tiling job is great. You've got no little nicks here and there, no little bits of tiles wedged in. We've got new linoleum, loving that as well. Now something's changed. I know. There was boxing down there, and it just looked like it was there for no reason. That's much better. Okay, well, we're liking that. Hey, tippermost to the toppermost.
Now that shower room looks great and is now more akin to what Barbara's dream was made of. So let's find out what she thinks of it. Now come with me, Barbara.
into the hallway.
Come in. I can't wait.
You can't wait.
Yeah.
Neither can I. I've seen it, and I still can't wait. But before we go in and take a look at your lovely new shower room, just describe to me what it was like before we arrived.
Oh, do I have to go there? It was horrible. It was driving me up the tiles.
Driving you up the tiles, I like it. When you go into that new shower room, what are you hoping for?
Things fitted properly, and no holes around the outlets, and things like that, because then it could have got through.
Obviously, I want you to give it a good inspection. I want it to pass the Barbara test.
Right.
So, are you ready to go in and take a look at your shower room?
I can't wait.
Let's go. Right, after you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Go take a look at your new shower room, Barbara.
Wow. Wasn't it good?
How good's that?
Brilliant.
What about all this, though? Got all the tiles, your sanitary ware's in.
Yeah. Oh, that's neat to do. Oh, lovely.
Because it's lowered down now.
Yes. It's in the floor, isn't it?
Yeah, you see where that box section was there,
Yes.
look? That's
Oh,
all
that's
gone.
better. Yeah. Oh, I get a chest of drawers in there.
You could.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make use of that space
Yes.
now, can't you?
Can't I?
I think the floor's really good. There was dangerous electrics in the roof, so that's all been sorted for you. But to me, it just looks like a totally different room. Clean lines.
Remarkable to what it was. Oh, it's got new things on here as well. Oh, it's beautiful.
But there's still something missing for Barbara.
I can't wait for a shower. No one to wash me back.
Oh, hey, never mind. But generally, you're happy?
Oh, I'm delighted.
What will this allow you to do now? Is it giving you the incentive to...
Get up, have a shower and start the day fresh.
Yeah. A score out of 10, what would you give it?
11.
11! That's what we want.
Yeah.
That's what
I'm
we want.
so happy. Oh,
Good. Good, I'm pleased for you, Barbara.
Thank
really
you.
chuffed for you. And I want you to enjoy this new shower room of yours. And hopefully, you'll never get any more cowboy builders coming into your
No,
property.
because you told me what to do.
So I'm going to leave you to have a little wander around and have a little nosy around and enjoy what you see. You look after yourself. Now I'll leave you with a nice new sparkling shower room.
I'll sit on a seat.
Go on then, have a sit down.
What a super shiny result.
Goody, goody.
This beautiful bathroom will make Barbara's life much easier. Job done. In Aberdeenshire, Doris and Gordon Reid are waiting patiently to see if their bodge job wall has been transformed from crumbling catastrophe into an upright result. Before I reveal all, I want to check in with head builder James to see how they're getting on. Tell us what you've actually done so far.
After the foundations, obviously, we got the wall up. That's fairly easy. That's the easy bit, to be honest. Then we put the coping stone on.
So, block went up, copers on, scratch coat.
Scratch coat, and we're very careful to seal up underneath so that the scratch coat actually seals to the stone so that no water can get in the crack.
Yeah, I reckon this is going to look cracking. It already does look great as it is, but we know, first and foremost, it's been built correctly. I'm going to stand back and do what I do best, and that's watch.
Great.
All right.
Thanks very
James,
much.
brilliant job, sir. Congratulations to you and all the boys. Keep it up. Fantastic. Come on, James. While the good guys finish off this top job, I want to help Doris and Gordon put their cowboy builder and this whole sorry saga behind them.
If you had an opportunity to speak to him now, what questions would you like to ask him?
I would just want to know is why he hasn't lived up to his responsibilities.
So with that in mind, what we want to try and do now is to make a phone call and give him the opportunity of a right of reply.
Yeah.
So are we therefore ready
Yes.
to go for it? Here we go. I'll hand that to you, Gordon.
It's no surprise when Gordon's call goes straight to the builder's voicemail.
It's Gordon Reid from Lawrencekirk here. I would like to have a chat with you. Is there any possibility you could give us a call back? Thank you.
Obviously, he tends not to answer the phone. Now, in terms of the job that he carried out, that was a poor one. There's no two ways about that. Well, I can't wait to show you later exactly what quality workman can do.
Our office also tried to contact the Reed's Cowardly Cowboy. So far, we've had no response, either to our calls or letter. But there are good guys out there, and before I show the couple what they can do, I want to sneak a quick look.
Do you know what? I think I'm well chuffed with that. It's a top wall. I think it's time to go and see what Doris and Gordon make of it. Come on.
James and his team have done a super job, and at long last, Doris and Gordon's wait for their dream home is over. I'm looking forward to showing them the garden wall they've always wanted.
The good guys obviously have been in, they've done their job. I've been very fortunate enough to take a look at it myself, and I love it. I can't wait to show you. But before we go out and take a look, remind me what that wall was like.
Well, it looked good until it started falling apart. There was bits falling off and it just wasn't nice.
So, therefore, are you ready to go and take a look at it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Come on, follow me.
Okay.
Can't wait to show you this.
Wow. When you look at the wall as it was before and you look at it now, it is a wall.
It is a wall.
You know, really what we had wasn't a wall.
You've actually got foundations in there.
Yeah.
You've got pier supports,
That's right.
Yeah.
which you didn't have before.
Yep.
And you've also got expansion units as well on the actual rough cast itself.
They've done a fantastic job.
It was a real pain, that wall was before.
I know. Caused us such a lot of heartache, that did.
I really hope this is the dream wall that you wanted.
Yeah, it finishes off the garden, doesn't it?
It complements that view.
Nice glass of wine to toast it.
I think that's a great idea. But I can see you're happy.
Oh,
and,
just so pleased.
And that's
Just
the
so
most important
pleased.
thing.
So happy now. Just brilliant. Thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure. I'll give you a little hug and a squeeze.
Oh, thank
all
you.
All right, it's great to see you. I really wish you the best of luck.
I'll just shake hands with you.
And I wanted a hug from you, Gordon.
No chance.
You won't get that.
All right, well, I'm going to love you and leave you. Best of luck to you, and enjoy this fantastic garden and beautiful view. Doris and Gordon now have a garden wall to be proud of. It's fine, upstanding, and built to last, just like me. They certainly seem pleased with the work, so I'll toast to that. Doris and Gordon have now got a cracking wall that finishes off their garden nicely. But my job isn't over yet. I've got all the information that we've collated on their cowboy builder. I've got it right here in my file, and I'm going to be taking it to the local trading standards office. And remember, all you cowboy builders out there, we're on your trail.